So as we know, Jax was missing off the scene for a couple of days. He was the first one to get arrested, then Juju followed after. As of yesterday, from what we can see in this live IG post that he did, he's out of jail and he looks exhausted. He also looks like he lost quite a bit of weight in the face since the last time we saw him riding in the car with Juju. Um, I, in my opinion, think that Jax has checked out. I think that what he's saying in this live is really deep because I'm wondering if Nature Boy, because he's not able to have contact with the wise, is he using Juju and Jax as a mule to spread the message or to get in contact with the women? You know, they have their own separate language that I'm quite sure he taught them when they were over in carbonation if this was to occur. But what is concerning is he being ordered by Nature Boy to say the things that he is saying, because there's been a gag order on Nature Boy and the wise not to speak on the case or the knowledge or anything, as long as the case is still going on. Jax is definitely sounding like a Nature Boy. I'm wondering, is what Jax is saying going to end up incriminating Jax and Nature Boy, first and foremost? I should have said it in that order. Is it going to incriminate Nature Boy further, and also make Jax perhaps a co-defendant? You know, he's doing this Morris code, which we know that they do that in gangs, and they also do these in cultures, as I'm going to call it. It's a less harsher word than the abbreviation of what we know that these people are. But it's a really sad situation if Nature Boy has used Jax and Juju as messengers because now he's desperate because the wives can't do it for him. That he's getting these two crash dummies, that I would call it, to do it. They were like at the lower levels of the members of the disciples. They weren't up there with True and Solar and Loyal, where they did the financing, maybe found the Airbnbs, did the loans. They were the ones that weren't the brightest of the bulbs. So it wasn't hard for me to believe that he actually went on this tangent. It wasn't actually hard for me to believe that he also got arrested alongside with Juju a few days later. Um, but I really think that these people are really lost. Those are the ones, Jax, Juju, and a few others, beside the women, that ultimately, if Nature Boy gets out in a timely fashion and they don't have time to sit with themselves going forward, they will definitely be over there in carbonation again and being controlled mentally and physically, because they choose to want to think that he was over there leading them on a spiritual journey, which we know that's farther from the truth. He was definitely not leading them on anything but self-destruction. Now, we know years ago, people who has been following Nature Boy more than a few years, we're talking about dating way back. I started doing commentary on Nature Boy in 2019. We're talking about before 2019, when he did have a plan. He did want to live off the land. He did want to have a spiritual journey. He did want to do things differently than what other cultures or communities or states were doing, and live in harmony and build a village and build and build and build and leave a legacy of how to live off the land, how to be able to take care of yourself without the government's money or the government telling you what you can and you cannot do. Now, that was a dope, plan, a vision that Nature Boy had, but that was way before Jax, Juju, and all the rest came over to carbonation, and they may have been going through some triumphs, trials and tribulations in their life, but they are still old enough to know right from wrong. And I'm quite sure there had been a time that they started to realize that this is not where it's at, but I think they got stuck, and brainwashed. Nature Boy pretty much brainwashed them, washed their brain completely. And they're not the people that they first was when they first landed over at Carbonation. But I really think that Juju should pipe down, but he's not, because he's being told by someone bigger than him to spread this word. And I look at the views that he got on this video and some of the likes that these people get on these posts. And even one person is alarming if they even like a post with them speaking this fake knowledge, because we know it's not about the knowledge. We know this is not a spiritual journey. This is all a power thing with Nature Boy. Nature Boy wanting to be control and dictate policy. And he wanted to operate his camp like a cult. And that's what he did, even though he denied and denied and denied that that's what he was doing. He was being a cult leader, and he had servants that were pretty much the way in my opinion, looked at it, were like slaves, because he mistreated them. And, it was a sad situation. But it's really sad that even if one person likes a post that they hear of them spreading the knowledge that Nature Boy had taught them, that it's scary, because it only takes one person to now reach out to somebody else and plug that in their head, and then that person catches on and thinks and believes that this is the way life's supposed to be, and then that other person um plugs on somebody else. It's like a telephone game. But when you have 50 likes or 100 likes or 300 likes, can you imagine how this can flourish, like, and become a pandemic? um them speaking this knowledge and having a group of people living like this, and some of these people are not mentally well, um and they could, like we see now, go inside of Walmarts and shopping stores or places where there's large amounts of people, and it could trigger them to unalive people. There's a lot that comes with being in these kind of cultures. And I don't think that Juju or Jax is aware of this. They think that they're doing this for the greater good, when they're they're really doing it for the greater worse, and they're not realizing it, and they never will, because we saw these two on command take off his Timberland boots, um and massage his feet, and for someone to degrade you as a person like that, and you not see that there's nothing godly about that, that's a problem.